Hi, welcome back to Park Bench. I am here today. This is going to be a really interesting one. I'm here with Ellen Goodeve, and Ellen is a private investigator, which I don't know about you, but I find it extremely interesting. So I can't wait to hear what she has to say. I wish I could bring you in so you could answer some questions or ask her some questions too, but I can't. So I've tried to come up with some good ones. So I'm going to introduce her. This is Ellen. Ellen,
hello,
say hi.
I'm Ellen Goodeve.
And your business? What's the name of your business?
My business is Witness Investigations, and it's located in Liverpool, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a licensed private investigator, and I've had my business since 2010. And I do different things, everything. I do surveillance, I do investigations, I do background checks, social media checks.
Wow.
A lot of things, so many things.
What areas do you cover? I mean, all of Central New York, or do you go outside of Central New York? What areas do you service?
Well, primarily Onondaga County is the easiest because this is where I am.
Right.
But I do have people that do work for me in all different parts of the state. So it just depends. And if there's something I can't do, I can always refer to somebody else that's further away.
Nice. So if someone from the audience isn't real local, they're in a different county, but close enough, you can help them.
I could help them. And if for some reason I can't, I will find someone that can.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah. Where are you originally from, Ellen?
I'm from Liverpool. I've always been here.
Yeah.
The whole 51 years.
I love to talk about Liverpool because that's what this site is focused on, Liverpool.
Yeah.
What do you like about it? I mean, you've been here
part of it's just
years.
comfort. I've just been here the whole time. So it's just being familiar.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Okay. I've covered that. So you've already kind of gotten into it, describing your business, but I think, people are super curious about, they know PI, they see it on TV and that's what they think.
Right.
Go into a little bit more depth about like what you do, some of the cases that you cover.
Okay. So I'm very familiar with workers' compensation cases. People call me, though, for child custody cases, which are my favorite. A lot of times one of the parents isn't following the order. There's an order set forth by the court and the other parent isn't following what they're supposed to do. Oh, and so I will conduct surveillance and, it's video surveillance for, proof. And just to see if they're following the order. Maybe they aren't supposed to be driving with their child. Maybe they're supposed to have supervised visits. All different reasons why. And then sometimes if they don't follow the order, the other parent can not necessarily get custody. Sometimes they do, but it might modify the visitation, the amount of visitation the other parent can have.
That's interesting. So that information that you collect, you bring into the courtroom?
I submit a report and I submit any photos and video. And if I'm asked to testify, absolutely.
So that becomes legal evidence.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes people think that they'll have their friend follow or their, whoever. And really, if it's not documented professionally, the court generally won't listen to that. So
that's interesting.
A lot of people will say to me, "Oh, I was going to have my friend do it," or it's okay if you just want to know answers. But if it's something that you want to bring into court, you really need it documented professionally. So
that's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that either, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What got you involved? What got you interested in this business, in this profession?
Well, I was adopted and I found my birth family in 1992. And ever since then, it gave me the desire to dig. I started reuniting families. And then before you knew it, I had a friend, Joseph Leonard. He was a retired police officer. And he gave me my first job doing cheating spouses. And it just kind of went from there. And then I started doing a lot of workers' compensation, but I wanted my own license. He allowed me to go under his license, Joseph Leonard. But in order to get my own, you have to have 3 years of full-time experience. So that's like 6,200 hours.
Okay. That's a little bit different from 3 hours.
From 3 hours, yeah. I wish it was just 3. But if you're a police officer or a fire marshal, you don't need that experience. You just need 20 years of whatever, you're doing.
20 years to get a private investigator license?
Yeah, they
can't.
No
kidding.
Yeah, if you're a police officer or a fire marshal.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But if you're not, then you went to work under another private investigator,
Yes.
gained your experience for 6,200 hours.
Yeah, and
That's
that
a lot of
equals
work. That's
3
a lot of
years, 40 hours a
experience.
week is what,
Yeah.
really. And you have to
Full-time
prove it.
for
The
3
state
years.
makes you prove it.
Right. Well, that
Yeah.
does not surprise me.
No, it does not.
Okay. Well, that was my next question. What's involved? You answered it. You're ahead of me. What's involved in becoming a PI? But that is
Yeah.
super interesting. As you go, do you have to, like, for the state, take different trainings or anything? Or
No.
once you
Yeah, you
because
pass
you-
a test initially.
Oh,
so I have to take a
gotcha.
test.
You test out.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you pass the test. But then you have to renew the license every 2 years.
Okay.
And by doing that, you just have to, of course, pay.
Yes,
You
of
pay
course.
the fee,
Mhm.
and then you get you have to get bonded every 2 years. You have to renew your bond.
Right. Okay.
So, but that's it. There's no continuing education or anything like that. Most of your
Well, you're
experience,
so
anyways, is
busy
hands
and
on.
working, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could give me one or two things, there's probably a laundry list of things, but give me one or two brief things. Like, what has surprised you most about this field, about your profession, the private investigation field? Tell the people.
I will tell the people. Probably, well, one thing is that it's really hard to break into. I mean, you think, oh, you get your license and now you're all set. It wasn't that simple. You need, most important, connections. You need connections. You need to network. I just didn't think it would be that difficult, but it really is to build your business, in any business probably, but with this, I just thought, oh, it'll be simple, but people don't necessarily know to come to you, and people are afraid to come to you. Calling a private investigator isn't like a typical phone call that some people make. So some people are intimidated. They're afraid. I can tell they're talking to me and they're nervous at first.
Right.
But
right.
I wish
that
they
makes
wouldn't
sense.
be.
I feel
Yeah.
like I would be nervous. Well,
Definitely.
you never are really calling, for a pleasant request, right? Most
There's
of the time,
something wrong.
If you need a private investigator, something's wrong. I could see that. It would be
Yeah.
intimidating.
It is intimidating, and I can tell some people are nervous, but I feel like I put them at ease. I'm very personable. I don't judge them. There's nothing they're going to tell me that's going to surprise me. I've heard so much. I've seen so much. But I don't want people to be afraid to call. And if I can't help them, like I said, I'll just direct them somewhere else, but they don't have to worry. It's confidential. They don't have to feel ashamed or embarrassed or anything. It's just like having a conversation.
Good. Okay. Well, that should put people at ease if they have something they need checked out.
Yeah.
Is there anything you could tell people, like if they're not sure if they need a private investigator, what would their best route be? Like,
well, sometimes I don't think they do need, and I'm very honest and I'm very upfront about it. If I don't think that they should, I might tell them, well, why don't you try to do this, or why don't you try that, check this or that. I try to do that first. Right. Sometimes they don't need one. Okay. They can figure some things out themselves. Not everything has to be court documented. It depends on the situation.
In your experience, because you've been doing this a long time, in your experience, when people come to you with a request about a problem, what's the percentage? What's the ratio that it's there? The problem is in fact there.
I'd say 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10.
Because you have to trust your gut. If you are taking it far enough to even call an investigator, there's probably something, and it might not even be what you think it is. It might be less, but it might be more. Who knows what it is? We could be talking about the custody cases. We could be talking about the cheating spouses, even a workers' comp where they exaggerate their injuries, or who knows what it could be. It could be people are supposed to be working and they're not working. They're, fudging up their hours on their job. They could be followed for that, or anything. Yeah. Or just background checks where you think, geez, I just started dating this guy. I have a feeling there's something not right. Maybe he has a criminal record. Okay. Or maybe they could have no record and still have problems.
Something could be there.
But yeah.
So you think people's guts, they should follow it.
Yes.
If my gut's telling me something's not right and whatever, it's probably not right.
Yeah, I think so. And sometimes, I have, especially with cheating spouses, especially women, they cannot let it go. It eats at them and eats at them until they, and they're always afraid to, not always, but a lot of times afraid to take those steps. Right. And sometimes they don't even know how to pay for these things because their husbands are in control of the money. So it's not always simple. Right.
I would imagine it's not. Okay. That's interesting. Now I'm really thinking about that gut, and if so most people, myself included, a lot of what I think I know about private investigation, because you watch movies and you see it on TV, Are there any like common misconceptions about your profession that you think, anyways, that people have that you want to set straight?
Sure. I mean, people think that we can see through walls. We cannot. We do not know what's going on behind closed doors. Um, a lot of times people, if they find out I'm an investigator, they automatically think I'm going to check them out, or they think I already did. I'm not doing that. I'm not even thinking about it. When I'm not working, I'm not working. The only thing I am still doing when I'm not working is I'm constantly the interrogator. It's just my nature.
Right.
Anybody that knows me knows, oh my God, I just will not stop asking questions and trying to understand. I just have to know the truth about everything. But
is that what motivates you, having to know the truth?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm very relentless. When I want to know something.
I know.
Yes. I'm very relentless, and I just want to know the truth, because to me, not knowing the truth is the worst.
Yeah.
Absolute worst. At least if you know what you're dealing with, you can go forward. If you don't know, you're just going to keep sitting there and wondering, and it eats at you.
Going in circles, spinning,
Yeah.
right? It could
Yeah.
turn into something more than it is.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Is there anything that you want our viewers to know about your profession, or even just your business? Not even just the profession as a whole, but your business. Is there anything you want them to know?
Sure. I mean, I'm available all the time. We'll provide you with my phone number. I don't know if you're going to say it's email address, website. I have men and women that do work for me. So in some cases, you might rather have a man, or you might rather have a woman, depending on the situation.
That's good for people to know.
Yeah, I'm equipped that way. So, a lot of times, or sometimes you need more than one. Depends on what's going on. You might need two at a time, or
okay.
But yeah, I'm always available, and like I said, I'm very understanding, and I'm not judgmental at all, and everything's confidential. I've had people that call me, and I know half their family, or I know half of, and I keep my mouth shut. You have to.
Right.
So,
okay. I am going to put up your contact info.
Okay.
So you would say the best way for people to contact you is your cell phone and or your email, either one?
And sometimes people, I want them to know that they can email, because sometimes people are afraid to call. Right. So it's easier for them to type it out and tell me what's wrong, or, so. And then,
I communicate, I think, better.
Yeah, and they can get their thoughts straight. Yeah. So it's really upsetting to some people if they think they need an investigator. So if they're afraid to call me, you can always email me, whatever they want.
Okay, I'm going to post, I'll put it up so people have it big, your email and your cell number.
And you know what else, too, when they do contact me, I always try to tell people, too, when they contact me, say they call me and they think this is wrong or that's wrong, and then they don't call me for a couple weeks. I think they feel funny if then after a couple weeks they want to go forward, and they think, I never called her back, right? I don't want anyone to ever feel that way. I don't care if it's next year. It's your situation. It's your life.
Right.
I don't ever want anyone to think they owe me anything, because I've had people do that. Well, I felt funny. I didn't call you back. But it's okay. It's on your timing. It's not about me. It's nothing to do with me. I'm here for you.
I would have to guess, and I'm just guessing, but now that you bring it up, then I'm really thinking about it, that probably happens a lot, right? Someone calls and then they need time to process it or get back into it.
And once I realized it, I try very hard now to remind myself to tell people that before we hang up, just so that they know I'm not going anywhere. I hope, God willing, but I'm not going anywhere. So don't feel funny that you didn't call me. I understand life gets in the way, and it's a hard decision to make sometimes to decide to use an investigator.
Okay. So when they first call you, and now this is important, people are going to want to know this. When they first call you, you're just going to talk through their situation a little bit. And then if it takes them some time to call you back or not, that's cool.
It's whatever. It's all about them. It's not about me. And maybe they'll never call. Maybe I'll solve whatever they need in 2 minutes, because it might be something simple that they just didn't see for themselves, All
right. So I have 2 more questions.
This
is just a little nice segue. So if someone is just very embarrassed or reluctant or so nervous to contact you, whether it's phone, email, what could you say to them? What would you say to them right now if they're sitting on the other side, they're watching this interview, and they might have a problem, they have something in their gut, but they're just very reluctant for whatever reason. There's a laundry list of reasons. Tell them.
I will tell them. Don't worry about it. I'm just a human being like you are, and nobody's perfect. I'm not going to judge you. Don't be afraid to call. We'll just talk about it and see if you can get help. You might not even need help. I might say to you, you know what? I don't think you need an investigator, but if you do, I'll give you all the information to go forward. But I just think that it's better to check things out than to sit there and let it gnaw at you, whatever it is. That not knowing, and even not even just what we say about the cheating spouses, the child custody things. I know firsthand, children in split homes, you're nervous sometimes. What is going on with the other parent?
Right.
And just wondering or feeling like, okay, it's Friday now, it's his weekend. Well, how's that going to go? And sometimes it's the woman that is in question. It's not just the man, of course. But I don't know. You need the peace of mind.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna really throw a loop in our.
Okay.
You made me think of a question that I didn't prepare you for, so I'm hoping you can answer it. And if you can't, that's okay. But so if I were reaching out and asking you to get some information, whether it's a cheating spouse or a child custody or whatever it is, it's different for everybody. Would the party that you are, getting the information from, whether it's what is it, surveillance, right? That's what you would call it. If the party that you're surveilling, will they know that you're surveilling? And I mean, obviously they'll know if it comes to like a court case, but let's say nothing happens. Let's say I'm wrong, or I just want the information, but I'm not going to necessarily take it to court. Will they know that?
No, I mean, there's chances sometimes that, people see us sitting in cars and they're suspicious, or they think they're being followed, and that does happen, but they're not going to know from me, that's for sure. It's all discreet. Even if, let's just say, for example, we're watching someone and that person actually sees us, we're not sitting in front of their house. First of all, we're a little more discreet. But if for some reason we were approached by them, we're still not going to tell them what we're doing. If a neighbor approaches, we're not going to tell them what we're doing. Right. We always have a story.
Okay.
So, but no, that person will never know, not unless you tell them.
Right.
They won't know.
That's good info to know. I mean, I would have to guess that I'm not the only person that would think that way.
Yeah, people get nervous, and sometimes the person that we're surveilling, they've had a lot of problems with. Right. Domestic violence, different things, and they're
afraid.
They're afraid. They are very afraid. So yeah, we're very discreet, and we don't ever admit.
Okay, I know I said that would be it, but now I have one more question.
That's okay.
Have you come across? I'm sure you have come across. So I'll ask. Have you come across a lot of where you were afraid? Where you were. I don't want to say attacked, but confronted to the point where it made you nervous and afraid?
Yeah, I did have two that stick out in my head when you ask. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know if I want to really say the stories, but
no,
two different weapons were shown to me. Wow. Let's just say, and one was scarier than the other for sure. But yeah, I mean, people get crazy. I
I would imagine it would be a very, very dangerous field, very scary.
It can be. I mean, the one of them, it was because I was serving him divorce papers, and he didn't want them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he got them anyway, but he scared me a lot. And then there was another one that thought I was on his property, and so he ended up okay, but he had a weapon. Wow. And it's not necessary.
That's scary.
I think I have in my favor, because I am a female, though, I'm less scary. Right. So when people see me sitting in a car, opposed to my husband does work with me too, if he's sitting in the car, people are more afraid of a man. If you look out and you see a man in your neighborhood, right, where I get away with more. Yeah. Because I'm a female, I don't seem as intimidating. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else? I've kept you longer than I told you I would, but it's very interesting to me. I find your field very interesting. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers before I am going to read I'm going to put it up, but I'm going to read it. Anything else you want to tell anyone?
I don't know. Before we started videotaping this, we were talking about, because this started with my adoption, but we were talking about how back when I was adopted, it was so difficult to find information, where now people can go on Ancestry.com and put their families together. And I'm just going to say, I would recommend it. I would recommend it if anybody's thinking about that too, where they know they're adopted, but they're nervous. Just do it. You can at least see and then go from there. That's still puzzle pieces people need solved sometimes, Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's really not about my business. That's just me saying, for your own sake, there's people that I know are nervous about even doing that.
Right.
Right. And then if they do get names and stuff, and they need me to find out where those people are, I will. I mean, a lot of times those online sites where people think, I'll pay $10.95 and I'll find this or that. They're not always accurate. But anyways, I can help you find your family too, which actually means a lot to me because of
Your
my own
history.
situation. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for those search and support groups back then, and there was a woman, Ronnie Richardson, especially, that I give so much credit to. If it wasn't
Yeah.
for her, I feel like
Me
none
too.
of this.
Ronnie helped me too, as you did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Okay.
really
That's
appreciate
interesting.
her.
This is good stuff. So the truth will set you free is my message, I think, that I'm getting, that I'm picking up from Ellen.
I think so. That's how I
Okay.
feel anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to read this, Ellen's contact info. If you think in your gut that you have some questions or some issues, give her a call. She's going to talk you through it, and then you take it from there. See if you need an investigator or not. If you don't, at least you'll know you don't. So her cell phone number is 315-516-3785. That's her cell. And her email address is ellengoodeve@yahoo.com. And I'm going to put that up so you can read it. The name of her business, did we even talk about that? We must have in the very beginning. Witness Investigations. Ooh, that's very good. That sounds like a good one.
You know what else I was just thinking of? Not to keep adding to this.
That's okay. It's very interesting.
I was also thinking, I know I keep talking about personal things like adoption and the cheating spouses and the child custody stuff, but also businesses. I mean, you might have an employee that you're not sure, are they,
that's good.
Especially bartenders. I mean, it's a very easy business to be dishonest with if you want to be, but there's businesses too, or sometimes
like skimming, right?
Stealing. Or just not doing what they're supposed. I've done mystery shopping where you even just go in somewhere and see, are they polite? How are they treating people? You know, just whatever it is that business is looking for. Are they supposed to be wearing a name tag and it's mandatory? Right. Like, who knows? Sometimes when you leave your business to one or two people, you don't know what they're doing when you're not there. So you you have mystery shopper go in or an investigator, and they can find things out.
Right. That's interesting.
By how they're treated as a customer. You know, just things like that. I didn't think to bring that up.
That's a good one. Yeah, that is a really good one. You know, in today's day and age, I'm seeing just out in the community a little bit less customer service. You know, people lost their manners with COVID.
Oh, they certainly did. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's good. So if you have a business and you're not sure, you want to know.
Even if you have like a maid and you're worried about your maid, like, is she taking anything? What kind of person is she? You know, you might not be able to see what they're doing inside behind closed doors, but just to get an idea of their background, or maybe you don't know, so-and-so referred this woman to clean houses, and you know, you think, oh, because so-and-so knows her or him, they're okay. Okay. But maybe they have a background. Do a
background check or just that's interesting. So you don't really need to have a problem or a situation. If you're curious about something, you want to know something about anyone or anything, it sounds like, give her a call and see if she can help. It sounds to me like she may be able to. But I think that's all we have for today.
Thank you for interviewing me.
This was extremely fun for me. This is very interesting. Thank you for being here, Ellen. And thank you for checking us out. And I will see you next time.